What's going on, guys? LoaphMeat here, bringing you to the world of Fallout 4 again. I'm going to be talking to you guys about the Benevolent Leader achievement. I had just achieved this, and I'm going to tell you the sort of techniques that I did, and hopefully to help you reach that goal. For those of you who aren't aware, and I'll bring out the HUD to explain, Benevolent Leader requires you to have 100% happiness in a large settlement, and a large settlement is only defined by the size meter on the side here. A large settlement can be any place that has a size meter greater than 3/4 of that bar, which is on the top left hand side, top right hand side. 21 people, 24 food, 28 water, 48 power, 125 defense, 21 beds, 100 happiness, and almost full size. So going into my town, first thing you're going to notice is my 125 defense. It is highly recommended, not only by myself, but by many people on the Fallout forums online, that you have at over 100 defense. It's going to help tremendously in bringing up your happiness. Coming into town, first thing you're going to see is off to the side here, I have set up some of my stores. I have 15 stores active total, and I'll tell you exactly what you need in order to build these. But you'll see I have clothing, clinic, bar, clinic, general, bar, clothing. Kind of alternating here, but I will tell you that clinics bring up happiness the most. So if you really want to, you could just build a whole bunch of clinics. And it's not recommended only because clinics are the most expensive to build, but they do help a lot more. It's usually nice to have a clothing and a bar. Bars provide food and water. It's nice to have those things because, one, for your sake, you can buy other things for yourself, and two, I believe it does help to raise happiness by allowing your settlers to have some sort of variety. One thing I will say is that every one of your settlers should have something to do. You'll see that I have 24 food active, and I'll show you my garden over here. Each settler can work on up to 6 foods at a time. So I have 4 people assigned to foods, which would equal then my 24 foods. It's that is the max number of people you should be having work on food. That is the max. Everyone else needs to be working at a shop. You can't have any freeloaders. They have to be doing something. Not only does it just increase happiness to have your settlers doing something, but the shops add tons of happiness. So, everybody assign everybody else to a shop to kind of help with that, to help sort of separate people. You'll see a distinct difference. Everybody that I have working on a shop, I made sure that they're wearing a suit. That allows me to know which people are working on shops and which people are farming. So I have John Long here. He's working on gathering food and stuff. This guy also, he's a provisioner. This was my late addition to the group. He's my 21st person. I put him on a shop. So that's a bad example. But everybody else in a suit, shop. Marcy Long here works in the garden. This settler works in the garden. And that's just an example. I'm going to take you inside the building that I built, just to kind of explain some other things that help. Now, first and foremost, you do need a number of beds equal to the people that you have in your town. So since I have 21 people, I need 21 beds. I built this entire building as sort of a hotel for everybody to sleep in. I do have beds in each one of the homes, so everybody can essentially have their own, or at least each home will have one settler living in it. For everyone else, they come in here. Now, I will say that decorations do increase happiness by a little bit, a very, very, very little bit, but they do help. So if you haven't, go around and add a little bit of flair to whatever you have going on. So I have paintings, I have flags, I have a morat head, I have rugs, containers, a second floor with more paintings, some furniture, a couch, a couple couches, a chair in a corner. These things give your settlers something to do, supposedly, and it does increase happiness. So it's a good idea to put these things here. I have outdoor pool table with Nuka-Cola machine, what is it? Edotronic, jukebox, all that other happy jazz. And of course I got power running to the building. Believe it or not, you actually do not need power to reach 100% happiness. It's recommended, but you don't need it. And the reason why it's recommended is that this is the house that I use for myself. This is where I store my stuff. I'm going to use this as an example. Lounge areas, like I have in my living room here with couches and chairs and a TV, these sorts of areas increase happiness. So it's usually a good idea to have some power running to some of your houses so you can have some TV going on. Kind of show off my house a little bit. I got some Nuka-Cola Quantums hanging out in the fridge. This guy is, yep. She's enjoying my little lounge area I have in my back room. I got my disco ball, my bubble head stand, my comic book rack, or magazine rack rather. So I got a pretty nice setup back here, and this is my bed, and I keep all my junk in my washer and dryer. I have power running to this building, and of course, same old thing. I have lounge areas, which help increase happiness. Here's more shops, a clinic. You know, it's very important that you have at least, my recommended number is 6 clinics that you should have to increase happiness, and then vary everything else. Having gun shops and armor shops do not increase happiness, so don't build those if you're trying to increase happiness. They're nice to have for your own sake, so you can buy and sell weapons and armor for yourself, but I will be tearing down, now that I've made the achievement, I'll be tearing down a couple of these to add armor and weapon shops for myself. Now, of course, and here's the last little bit. So if you counted, I do have 15 level 3 shops. I'll bring up the HUD here. So you do need some prerequisites to use some of these. You want to use the level 3 stores. Of course, right here is level 1, level 2, level 3. For this particular level 3 clinic, you're going to need 1 rank in medic, 2 in local leader. So this is one of those things that, you know, you need those stats, or you need those perks in order to successfully build this item. And each one is different. This is the only thing that requires medic. Everything else, like clothing, at level 3 requires 2 ranks in cap collector and 2 ranks in local leader. So it is important that if you want this achievement, you got to put points in local leader and cap collector, and at least 1 in medicine or medic. I will say that the grind it takes to reach 100% happiness takes a long time. So it is one of those things that I would recommend that you wait until late in their game for a couple reasons. One, uh, it does cost roughly 1,500 caps to build just one of these. So in order to build 15, we're talking like tens of thousands of caps, or what it, you know, it's a lot of caps that you're going to need. So late game, definitely, I have almost 60 hours put into this game, so I'm pretty much late game, even though I haven't even beaten the main quest quite yet. Whenever you're trying to achieve this, it is highly recommended that you actually stay in your town. Whenever you reach around 85% happiness, that's when you want to actually start staying in your town. The reason for that is that there is a glitch that if you travel too far away from your town, well, I wouldn't call it a glitch. If I'm not mistaken, it has something to do with draw distance and whatnot. But the further you adventure away from your town, some of the items that you've built and created start to not be counted, or the game doesn't recognize them anymore, so your happiness starts to plummet. So whenever you get to around 85% happiness, you want to actually stick around in town and just build, hang out, look at stuff, make sure that you have plenty of stuff to build. Whenever you're trying to, even after you have 15 to 16 shops, build floor mats, build carpet, build pictures, just go around and post as much stuff as you can, just to help push yourself a little bit over. One recommended method is resting or waiting. So whenever you reach about 90% happiness, it starts to, the happiness meter starts to crawl. So you will only get about 1 happiness every day. So it is highly recommended that you sleep for 24 hours, and then when you wake up, decorate until you see your happiness meter increase by 1, then go back to sleep. And then rinse and repeat until you make it to 100. It took me about, since about 85% happiness, it took me about 4 hours of hanging around my town. And that sounds like a long time, but really I kind of turned on the game, and while I was decorating, I would let my game sit and I would make myself lunch. I would watch some YouTube videos on my phone, and then I would come back and rest. And it does take a lot, and it does take a while, but it's kind of insulting that the achievement is only is only bronze, but you can do it. It just takes a lot of patience and perseverance. Anyway, guys, this has been LoaphMeat bringing you to Fallout 4, explaining the Benevolent Leader achievement. It's late and I'm going to sleep. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll get back to you. If you like what you've seen, give me a like, subscribe, do whatever you have to do and show your support, and I'll see you guys in the future. Bye-bye, and good night.